Welcome to the Silver and Black Show, and this week's overview brought to you by Hawaiian Airlines. Jim and I get you ready for an all-important matchup against the Denver Broncos. We get a closer look at standout fullback Alec Ingold, and Chris Townsend joins head coach Jon Gruden to break down some film. All that and more on the Silver and Black Show, starting right now.
The snap of the gun, fires, complete, first down, 40, 35, headed for the end zone. Hunter Renfrow, welcome back, buddy. Touchdown Raiders. Oh my, what a difference number 13 makes for the Raiders.
Hunter Renfrow is back in action, and the Raiders are back to their winning ways. Welcome to the Silver and Black Show. As always, I'm your host, Nicole Zaloumis, alongside our two-time Super Bowl champion, Jim Plunkett. Jim, not only is Hunter Renfrow back, but he was back in a big way. 7 receptions, 107 yards, that huge touchdown. Nice to see him back in action.
No, it certainly is. Sometimes one guy can make all the difference in the world for your quarterback, number one, for your offense, number two. And he had a big game, and it was good to see him back on the field.
When you see he and Derek Carr working together, it does kind of feel like that security blanket for Derek Carr out there. They just gelled immediately.
Yeah, and sometimes that happens between quarterbacks and receivers. Bobby Chandler was my go-to guy in certain situations. Raymond Chester was another guy that I could really count on in certain situations. And, of course, with a big play, I always looked at Cliff Branch.
Well, this was a fun fact about Hunter's game. It was his first 100-plus yard game since high school. So it's a nice way to let the Raider Nation know that there's a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, and he was back in a big way, and that's always good. Plus, the Raiders won, and he helped contribute to that victory. And it's good to have your people back, your healthy guys who can play well, get the job done for you, and he's one of them.
What was it about this particular game against the Chargers in which Renfrow and Carr were working together so well that he was the go-to target?
Well, it depends on what defense they're running. I think they changed it up. They hadn't seen him in a while, so I think that makes a big difference. And, our offensive line, for the most part, gave Derek time to find the open receiver, and oftentimes it was Renfrow.
So we go from LA up to Denver to close out the regular season, and we know what to expect anytime the Raiders play the Denver Broncos. This is going to be a heated game, especially because the Broncos, they're 3-1 since they handed the keys over to Drew Lock. What are you expecting out of this Broncos squad?
Well, I think, they're struggling. They were having a tough year. They made changes at quarterback, and Drew Lock has come in and made a big difference for that offense. Watching a little film on him, the way he moves around, the way he gets rid of the ball, he doesn't seem to panic. And he's just made a big difference for that offense. And sometimes, you get a guy like that who does spur your offense on when he comes in. Those things happen and in a good way for the Broncos right now. But hopefully, the Raiders come in, put pressure on him, make him panic a little bit, even though he doesn't seem to get too flustered. But do some things that he hasn't been in the league long. He's a rookie. He's doing a great job. There's no question about that. But you can do things to rattle him, hopefully.
Because this is one of our last shows, I think it's important that we give a little love to A.J. Cole.
Sure.
Here is a guy that has just been phenomenal this season, starting preseason, really, when he won the job over Johnny Townsend. 46.2 average per punt. That's 12th highest in the league. 74-yard punt against the Chargers, which was the 3rd longest all season by a punter. A.J.'s getting the job done.
He is. As an undrafted free agent, he's doing a phenomenal job. You think punting is easy, but putting the ball out on 10-yard line, 5-yard line, it's not an easy chore. He's got a long of 74. So he's doing all the right things, and I think it was a great find by the Raiders.
Well, and he's a good guy. We had him on the show early on in the season. It was great to learn his story and then obviously follow his success throughout the season.
Sure, everything contributes to a victory. You're doing good things in the kicking game. Offensive line is blocking. Defense gets the ball for you in good field position. Those all add up in some ways to victories.
All right, Jim, we have to take a quick break here. Up next, though, head coach Jon Gruden joins Chris Townsend to break down some film.
Coach, it was a great win down in Los Angeles against the Chargers, their last game at that stadium, and the Raiders are still in the playoff hunt.
Still alive, and really pleased with a lot of backup players that started the game and played well. Denzel Good at left guard, played the whole game for Richie Incognito. David Sharp came in, played well at right tackle, and you got to give DeAndre Washington credit. Darryl Worley returned and played safety among 4 other positions. We had a lot of guys step up. I'm proud of them.
Coach, it was interesting being in the locker room after the game, as I'm like a fly on the wall, and you really told your players how proud you are of them.
Well, it's been a tough few weeks. We've had a lot of guys go down, and the Chargers still a very talented team, and to go down there and play well after the last month that we've endured is special. And we had a lot of young guys step up. We also had the return of Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah.
You know, on the first third down of the game, we threw an option route to him. He broke in and took it to the house for a 60-yard touchdown. And then late in the game, you see it's 21-14. Everybody's getting a little nervous here, Townie.
Yeah.
So we called an option route here to Renfrow, who's in the slot again. And it's third down and 5.5 yards. And instead of breaking in, he breaks out. He knows exactly where the stakes are. He catches the ball, and he has to drive forward to get that first down. He's got great instincts. He really helped us out, not only on third down as a receiver, but as a blocker. But he's got so much poise, and I call it route friendliness. He doesn't fool the quarterback. You know, he's very easy to read on some of these choice routes. You don't know if he's going to sit down. You don't know if he's going to break in or out. But he and Derek Carr have a real good rapport going, and it's paying off for us.
You know, I think about him when you look at him, and with the pads off, you don't say, hey, this guy looks like a special athlete. But, you know, once you put him in pads, he's a special guy.
Yeah, as soon as I met him, I said, you're Hunter Renfrow? You're that guy that beat Alabama? You're Hunter Renfrow? And now everybody in the locker room is so proud of him. They all know who Hunter Renfrow is. And he also did a great job as a returner. He took one about 15 yards to set us up, and he also kept the ball from bouncing inside our 5-yard line. He must have saved us 25 yards of field position. So he did a lot of things as a receiver, a blocker, and as a punt returner. That's hard to do as a rookie.
Now, you know my guy, Lincoln Kennedy, always gets on me about talking about kickers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want to talk about kickers, Big Link. Wow. But A.J. Cole has been very special for you this year.
A.J. Cole, for another rookie to come in here and change field position the way he has. I think he's down the ball inside the 20 as much or more than just about any punter in football. And here we are backed up. I mean, we're at our own 15-yard line. It's a tight game. You don't want to give Phillip Rivers and these receivers great field position. This kid bombs it, man. That's how you used to do it, Townie. Look at that leg extension. This is a 74-yard punt. And it chases King all the way back inside his 15-yard line. Great coverage from the Raiders here. We down them at the 21-yard line. But A.J. Cole, add him to a list of a very impressive rookie class. He's been a great punter and a weapon for us.
I mean, field position is so key in this game, and the fact that he can just flip the field for you.
It is important. I mean, especially, you know, when you're struggling and you're playing the Chargers in a tight football game. It helps when you can push them back deep in their own territory and get yourself out of trouble as well. He did a good job for us.
And as a play caller, how much do you think about that during the game where you know behind you whether you want to go for it or not, you want to be aggressive, or you got this kid that can bomb it for you, or he can knock it down deep for you?
Well, it helps when you have a guy that you really trust. You know, when I first got here, Shane Leckler was our punter. He would punt the ball 20 yards into the black hole. He wanted that average, Leckler. It used to tick me off. But this A.J. Cole, he's done an excellent job of pinning our opponents back, and he's done what we've asked him to do, and he's also a very good holder. He puts the ball down for Carlson, so he's been a real good addition to our team.
So last week you had all these scenarios that had to go your way. Not only did the Raiders have to win, but a lot of people had to help out, and it all hit. It all happened. We're going to go through that again this week. How fired up are you for this game in Denver?
I'm excited. I mean, I think we all are excited to be in the playoff hunt in the last week of the season. It's a credit to our team and our coaches, and we appreciate all our fans pushing us through. But to have an opportunity in week 17 is a great accomplishment by this young team. And we know we got our hands full. Denver's a good team right now. They're playing with a new quarterback, and we're going to have to play a good game in all three phases.
And you know this quarterback.
I do know this Drew Lock. We had him in the Senior Bowl. He's a rookie out of Missouri, a very talented kid. Went in the second round and, you know, came down to Mobile, and our coaching staff, Greg Olson, our coordinator, Tom Cable, our line coach, we put a lot of plays in to try to see, you know, what Daniel Jones of the New York Giants and Finley, who's playing with the Bengals, and Drew Lock could do. And he was impressive. He's got a lot of poise. He loves football, and he's really taken advantage of his opportunity. And when you watch Locke play against the Houston Texans a couple weeks ago, my goodness. I mean, he puts 38 points on the board like that. And he did it with pocket accuracy. Here they are on a no-back set, and he drives the ball into a tight window for 6. That's what you call a tight window. You see that, Townie? That's how you do it. And they have a pretty good rookie class as well. That's Fant, their rookie tight end out of Iowa, who has really become a force for the Broncos.
You love the teaching aspect of this game, don't you?
I do. I do like it. You know, I love football, and I like guys that work at it, that love it, and would play for nothing. And I get the feeling that we got a lot of those guys in our rookie class, and unfortunately Denver got one in Drew Lock. He's a good kid with a big upside, and he obviously can throw the ball from different platforms. And this is an impressive throw right here. I'm starting to get a little nervous. It's going to be a challenge for us. He's a good player.
No doubt. But the fact that everything that this team's been through, and you talked about like at half last week, you talked about the injuries. And they're mounting up on you guys. But yet that whole next man up mentality, the fact that you're still in it with the guys that you have now and you're still signing players, this has been a very interesting and really a special year.
It has been, and Mike Mayock deserves a lot of credit. Our scouting department, they've been able to find some people that we can plug in. Will Compton, for instance, had 13 tackles last week. Will Compton didn't get here until middle of October, and he's wearing the green dot running the whole defense. You know, Eric Tomlinson, you wonder how we ran the ball in the second half. Eric Tomlinson is the tight end, making critical blocks. He's been here for 12 days. So our coaching staff deserves a lot of credit fast-tracking these players. Mayock and his group deserve a lot of credit for finding guys that fit what we want to do. And I think our football team really deserves a lot of credit for having the confidence and the will to keep preparing and competing.
And what the fans have brought to us this year, I think about all the fans in Los Angeles. I mean, it was amazing. They took over the stadium,
cool,
right?
Yeah.
It was like it was basically a home game. What we're going to see in Denver, Raider Nation travels as good as anybody.
They do, and we need all the help we can get. And wish them all a Merry Christmas. Wish you a Merry Christmas, Townie. Let's try to get one more win.
And let's hopefully get that win and get the playoffs, Coach.
24 seconds. 3rd down and 1. Carr, roll to throw. And there's a penalty flag, diving for the end zone. Touchdown pending the penalty. Alec Ingold, the receiver. But the Chargers are pointing that it is against. There comes the extra point crew. The Raiders are indicating this is against the Chargers.
This season, the Raiders boast a stellar rookie class that has proven to be one of the best in the league. Among them, fullback Alec Ingold, whose determination to make it in the NFL has turned him into a Pro Bowl candidate. The fullback few expected to see make an entrance wearing silver and black on game day. For Alec Ingold himself, he longed to live out that moment, but had a backup plan just in case.
Playmakers on 3. 1, 2, 3. Playmakers.
I got offered a sales job from Oracle, tech company, so I was going to go out to their Boston office and sell Oracle software. I had to delay it a little bit, and I had to finally, when I made the team, I was able to tell them, I don't need the job anymore. So I was very thankful for that.
The undrafted free agent out of Wisconsin earned a roster spot over veteran Keith Smith in August to carry out his childhood dream of playing in the National Football League.
To get a call like that is just there's so much reward. You accomplish something so difficult, it obviously took my breath away, and I shared it with a lot of close people and family and friends.
Good to see you too. Go on.
Family and friends who, unlike many NFL fans who had never heard the name Ingold, weren't entirely surprised by the fullback's success. In his hometown of Green Bay, Wisconsin, Alec shined as a 3-sport athlete.
When he was this little, we knew he was going to do something.
Every sport he was in, he was a 10.
Yeah.
Everyone knows him. Teachers have jerseys. My classmates will be like, hey, FaceTime him right now in class, and then the teachers are totally okay with it because they love him so much.
The amount of followers that he has for this state, you go out to dinner and, people are like, oh my gosh, you're Alec Ingold's parents.
Let's go, boy.
In Week 7, the former Bayport High School quarterback's biggest supporters came out to Lambeau Field to watch their local product back in action, this time as a Raider.
It's surreal. Seeing this place from a new angle is pretty fun. Hey, Alec!
it was really cool just to have that whole experience.
Have fun today, all right? Love you, Mom.
Love you.
The family, they've come for seeing me play in front of 5,000 people to Lambeau Field was definitely a big milestone for our family.
Last spring, the 6'1", 240-pound rookie was the only true fullback invited to the Combine.
It was special. I was with all the really fast running backs, so it hurt my feelings a little bit seeing them all run down so fast. It was one of those things, it was one of the first times where I kind of been recognized for being one of the best at a position.
A key part of the success achieved so far by the 2019 Raiders rookie class. The undrafted gem is taking ownership of a position that is often overlooked across the league.
I knew that Coach Gruden was a huge fullback guy. The whole offense was based on kind of a throwback mindset, and I told Coach Ole, the offensive coordinator, I told Coach Gruden, like, I want to be a Raider, like straight up. That's what I told him at the Senior Bowl. I take a little bit of pride as a fullback coming in. The defense has to strap up a little harder. They have to be prepared for a little bit more physicality, and that's who I want to be.
If there's a better fullback in the league right now, I'd sure like to see him. He can run it, he can catch it, he has some versatility. I think that combination helps us in short yardage.
Recently named a Pro Bowl alternate, number 45 can be seen carving out holes for Offensive Rookie of the Year candidate Josh Jacobs.
The top touchdown!
On top of carrying out head coach John Gruden's famous play call to reach the end zone.
Aspire to I banana, it's, Derek looked right at me when he said it. He's like, get ready for the ball right here. So I was definitely ready for it. We've practiced it probably a million times. So to kind of see it in his eyes, like, all right, here you go. This is your chance. It was definitely motivating for me to make the most of it. With more opportunities on the field, it's been able to give me a little bit of confidence around the guys. Like, if people trust me and respect me and how I've worked so far, I want to give them as much as I have.
I know how big of a role he has in this offense that goes unnoticed. I'm probably more proud than anybody else on the field.
Ingold is in there as the fullback. He comes over to the left. It's a toss play. Jacobs going to run behind him. Got daylight. End zone. Touchdown.
That's offensive execution at its best.
As a childhood fan of a storied franchise that boasts names like Vince Lombardi, Alec has a genuine appreciation for NFL history. He understands the significance of being a Raider and the responsibility that comes with it.
The rich history is just unbelievable. I don't want to be here just to be here. I want to be the best I can be. We're starting to do some right around here, so it's really exciting to be a part of something where you want to get this tradition and you want to be a part of something that's going to be great.
I try not to look up at anything, it just gets your mind on something you don't need to, doesn't matter at that moment, right? So I guess it is a good thing for our team, if anyone does, see that stuff or anything like that, they can stay positive and, keep their mind on the football game. Because if we don't win, nothing matters, So we just got to make sure we just take care of business. So I guess that being that way, it'd be good for our team.
Welcome back to the Silver and Black Show. It's the final game of the regular season, and playoff hopes are still alive. It's slim because a few things need to happen, but there's a chance here, Jim, and we want to let the viewers know what they should be watching this weekend. Obviously, they're going to be watching the Raiders game.
Of course.
But there are 4 games at 125 with playoff implications here. We need the Colts to win. They're facing the Jaguars. The Jaguars opened up as slight home favorites, but the last time these guys played each other in Week 11, the Colts won that matchup 33-13.
Yeah, we're looking for the Colts to do the same thing again to help the Raiders out. It's quite possible. Colts have struggled a little bit as of late, but, hopefully they can pull out a win over the Jaguars once again.
It's the Titans at the Texans. We want the Texans to win this one. It was a close one the last time the two faced each other, 24-21, but the Texans won that.
Yeah, and obviously, they want to keep that momentum going, so they're going to leave all their players in, get the job done. Against the Titans. The Titans are, have played better as of late. So, I think that's going to be the tougher of all the contests going on this weekend.
I don't know if we're going to see all the star players, Ravens, Steelers. We want the Ravens to win, but some news that they might not be playing their star players.
Yeah, and it seems like they're not going to. Lamar Jackson's not going to play, according to some reports, and a lot of the other starters are not. And they've earned that right. They've gotten the playoffs. They want to get their people healthy for the start of the playoffs. So, I see nothing wrong with that. But it'll be a tough test going into the game without those starters. And the Steelers, can play very well at times.
Well, Jim, obviously all those things need to happen. But because you have that strength of victory battle with the Steelers right now, the Raiders are also hoping to get a win from the Patriots, Lions, Chargers, or Bears. They just need one of those teams to win.
Yeah, they do. I mean, all these chances are adding up to be very difficult. But if one of those teams do win and the other things come true, as we said, then the Raiders are in the playoffs.
Well, and that's the beauty of football, right? You hope that the universe aligns. There's still a chance for our fans. There's still a chance that we get to see the Raiders in the postseason.
That is true. As slim as it may be, as long as you have that opportunity, that chance hangs in there for the Raiders. And we'll see what happens. One more weekend to go, and anything can happen.
All right. Well, we hope that we'll see you guys next week. That's going to do it for this edition of the Silver and Black Show. On behalf of Jim Plunkett, John Gruden, and all of us here at Silver and Black Productions, thanks for watching, and go Raiders.